The sport of mixed martial arts is the fastest growing sport and one of the most popular. It is a phenomenon that has grown exponentially every year and continues to establish itself among the sports that have been around for far longer. With any business, the driving factor in success comes from the consumer, client, or customer. In MMA, it is the fans. The sport is only as successful as the fans make it to be, and thus the constant draw of fans is crucial to survival and potential growth. MMA started its lineage as a stylistic matchup between two fighters. The two opponents would normally have one particular martial art that they were virtuosic in, pitted against a different style with very few rules. Early UFC matches did not consist of defined weight classes or unified rules like we have today. The underlying draw of the early stages of MMA and what it is today is the gladiator connection. What in the history of the physical competition is more glorified and learned than the Colosseum and the gladiators of the time? This was the ultimate entertainment venue in Rome for a long period, and the masses were drawn to it to witness the competitive nature of it all or the danger and bloodshed that could come from it. While not fighting to the death, MMA has parallels to the old gladiator days. It is taking two people, putting them at the center of a surrounding crowd, and having them use all their mental and physical fortitude to come out the victor. Yes, there are flashy things to heighten the experience, and they do play small roles as well. Having scantily clad women parading around the arena is a stimulant that caters to the male audience, which is the biggest demographic. But the way the sport is structured plays a significant part as well. The fights of the olden days come only in the form of text and on rare occasions drawings. If there were footage of the fights in the Colosseum, they would have outsold the ones in the octagon by a country mile. In ancient times, any bout could only be witnessed by the ones present on the occasion. After that, it became history. Today, they are accessible to everyone, even in the farthest regions. However, there are instances when these videos are not released. There can be many reasons behind that. In this video, we'll tell you about the $1 million video that was never released. Welcome to the age of MMA. Enjoy this video. Conor McGregor vs. Paulie Malignaggi. UFC President Dana White has unveiled a short video proving what happened in the fallout between Conor McGregor and sparring partner Paulie Malignaggi. Irish UFC champ insists that his former sparring partner was looking for a way out and was badly confused. Malignaggi furiously quit the training camp after an image was released on McGregor's Instagram making out he was knocked down during a sparring session. Paulie Malignaggi was unhappy with an image of him shared on social media showing him knocked down on the canvas. The 36-year-old insisted he was pushed down and didn't fall to the canvas after being caught with a series of punches. The UFC champ spoke of his version of events at a public workout in Las Vegas and revealed Malignaggi quit because he was flattened and was badly confused. He said, "He was looking for an exit. The spars were not good for him. He took a lot of head trauma. Straight after it, we were worried. He was knocked down. He was flattened against the ropes. Multiple times the ropes kept him on his feet." He added, "I don't mind Paulie. He came in, he spoke a hell of a game previous, very disrespectful to the skill set, very disrespectful to the discipline. But no matter what a man says, if they show up and try to answer that and try their best, you've got to give respect. And that's what happened."
It shows his character, in my opinion. He was looking for an exit. The spars were not good for him. He took a lot of head trauma. Straight after it, we were worried. The sparring partners were actually telling us when he was dropped back to the home that he was stumbling out of the car after the 12-rounder. He was knocked down. He was flattened against the ropes. Multiple times the ropes kept him on his feet. We were worried about him. We thought we thought the worst was after happening. You know what I mean? He was certainly badly concussed, and then he just got out of there and went running. And I don't know. I mean, I don't mind Paulie. He came in. He spoke a hell of a game previous. Very disrespectful to the skill set. Very disrespectful to discipline. But no matter what a man says, if they show up and try to answer that and try their best, you've got to give respect, and that's what happened. He showed up, he tried his best. It didn't go his way, he got his ass whooped, he got his pride dented, and then he wanted a way out. What better way for a guy like him to exit under a load of questions and mysterious, you know what I mean? So, under a load of questions.
Malignaggi had labeled McGregor as a scumbag and one of the biggest dirtbags I've ever met.
So he's a good salesman with no backbone, no morals. You know, he's got no character. As soon as the fight gets tough, he quits. When I told people that because I saw it in sparring, Dustin Poirier beat the life out of him, and he put a highlight clip of him hitting Dustin Poirier on his Instagram. I saw it. I had a comment on it. I'm usually on troll, but I'm like, bro, you're a clown, bro. This guy just knocked you out, and you're putting a highlight reel of you.
He also challenged Dana White to release the full video of their fight, which was never heard. What happened remains a mystery. Cassius Clay, Muhammad Ali versus Tony Esperti. Cassius Clay, soon Muhammad Ali, fought a 10-round boxing match with Tony Esperti in Miami on January 17, 1961. Clay won the bout through a technical knockout when the referee stopped the fight in the third round after Esperti's left eye had been cut by Clay's jabs. The fight took place on Cassius Clay's 19th birthday. This was Esperti's first fight in 6 years. Esperti was on his feet and seemingly not too hurt when referee Mike Kaplan stopped it, because Esperti was beginning to bust up around the eyes. Esperti was later convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison for gunning down mafia boss Thomas Altamira, a member of the Gambino crime family. The legend of Bruce Lee. You can't think of martial artists without thinking of Bruce Lee. He was a famous martial artist, movie star, and cultural icon, whose skills and philosophy on fighting have inspired millions worldwide. He even created his own expression of martial arts called Jeet Kune Do, translated Way of the Intercepting Fist. We've all seen Lee fight on film countless times, but what is much rarer is an intimate glimpse of him sparring in his natural habitat. Bruce Lee vs. Wong Jack Man is perhaps the most famous fight in martial arts history. Yet the matchup between the cultural icon and kung fu master remains shrouded in lore and mystery. San Francisco's Chinatown in the early 1960s was something of a mecca for young martial artists looking to be at the forefront of the fighting culture. The burgeoning martial arts community served as a formative teaching ground for many artists on the cutting edge of martial arts. The fighting culture in the Bay Area was so attractive that a young Bruce Lee decided to move from Seattle to Oakland to open his second Junfan martial arts studio. Wong Jack Man was also a popular and well-respected martial artist at the same time. He was the owner of the Jung Fan Gung Institute, where he taught Wing Chun. However, sometime in 1964, Bruce Lee and Wong Jack Man found themselves at opposing ends of the San Francisco martial arts world. Some rumors say the disagreement between the two sprung from the fact that Lee's Oakland studio attracted a rather large number of non-Chinese students, and Wong was opposed to teaching martial arts to white people. So he proposed a fight with Lee with the ultimatum that, should Lee lose, he would have to close down his studio. Some others claim that Lee is the one who had issued a challenge to Wong by claiming he could beat any martial artist in San Francisco, and he was only requesting a fight in response to Lee's boasting. Wong wanted the fight to be public, but after Lee refused, the two men agreed to a private challenge at Lee's school with only a handful of people in attendance. While various accounts place between 7 to 15 people at the fight, only 3 attendees could ever be confirmed. Lee's wife Linda, his studio associate James Lee, and William Chen, a local Tai Chi instructor. However, because the fight happened behind closed doors, there are several contradicting accounts of what happened. According to Linda's version of Bruce Lee vs. Wong Jack Man, Lee won the fight within 5 minutes. Wong began to backpedal as fast as he could. For an instant, indeed, the scrap threatened to degenerate into a farce as Wong turned and ran. But Bruce pounced on him like a springing leopard and brought him to the floor, where he began pounding him into a state of demoralization. "Is that enough?" shouted Bruce. "That's enough," pleaded his adversary. Bruce demanded a second reply to his question to make sure that he understood this was the end of the fight.
My name is Linda Lee Cadwell. I was married to Bruce Lee for 9 years. Martial artists in San Francisco, Chinatown, wanted to challenge Bruce to a fight. They wanted him to close down his school because he was teaching non-Chinese. Bruce was teaching a great many non-Chinese. They were not just Caucasian, they were Black or Hispanic or women or just a whole variety of people. It was not taken well. They wanted to shut down this egotistical, brash youngster. So a date was set, and eventually they came over. There was not bowing, there was not all that kind of thing. They just faced off and went at it.
Wong, however, recounted a different version of events. In his account, he stated that Lee came out as aggressively as a wild bull. He was sure Lee would never say he lost until you killed him. So Wong chose to fight most defensively, not wanting to face the consequences of a life-threatening fight. He claimed that the fight lasted at least 20 minutes and petered out as a result of Lee becoming winded, rather than either one of them delivering a definitive fight-ending blow. William Chen, who favors a more traditional fighting style and martial art, regarded the Bruce Lee vs. Wong Jack Man fight as a tie. In a version more closely aligned with Wong's account than with Linda's, he also recalled Lee's aggressive nature in the fight. Compared to Wong's more restrained style, he agreed that the fight lasted around 20 to 25 minutes, and definitely did not end with Wong pleading for relief. In reality, there is only one clip where Bruce Lee is in an actual fight. Lee regularly sparred with his students, but only one of his MMA fights was ever recorded. And now it's been restored by YouTube channel Beardy Bruce Lee Central. Beardy explains, "This is the only recording of Bruce Lee in a real MMA fight. He's fighting Ted Wong here, one of his top students." Thanks for watching the video, I hope you enjoyed it. Also, don't forget to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. We will be back with another amazing video on MMA soon, so stay tuned. Peace out.
Bruce threw the first punch. It did hit Wong Jackman around his eye. Bruce started to use a series of straight punches. Wong could not retaliate. Wong turned and he started to run, and Bruce was just after him. There are so many societies that are oppressive. Bruce did not want that. Wong went down on the ground, and Bruce was instantly over him with a fist raised and said, "Fulton, Fulk," in Chinese means, "Do you give up?" And he said yes. And that was the end. It was symbolic, that confrontation with Wong Jackman.